living in a bankrupt city, as you guys are all well aware, you kind of see all of these social determinants firsthand and how they affect health. So, I was kind of on a path to be a surgeon, and living in the city and seeing a different side of healthcare, it was like, hey, you know what a lack of physical activity does when you have over 300 abandoned parks in the city, and you don't have street lights, and how public safety affects public health. And really just seeing all of these things firsthand really just kind of led to the creation of Healthy Detroit. And so studying public health, right during the time the Affordable Care Act was coming out, we saw the National Prevention Strategy, which basically calls for an interdisciplinary approach to shift this culture in the country from the sick care model towards a culture of prevention. And seeing this and seeing how it basically calls for everyone to work together, I don't really think there's anywhere in the country where you'll see the private sector playing as large of a role as it plays in Detroit, obviously because of the lack of public sector. And so just seeing all of that, it was like, Detroit could kind of be the model for this because we are rebuilding, because there is so many of these things happening. And so we formed the organization and have used the National Prevention Strategy basically as a Bible to bring together, well over 40 organizations working on our initiative. And so
look at this photo here. Detroit was along with Cleveland, where I'm from, was kind of ground zero for housing, where so many houses weren't even worth it. They were actually destroying and taking away some of the buildings, and now they're putting in gardens. Urban gardens are showing up in Detroit.
For sure. So with all of these challenges, people like me and Herman and Chris, and just people in the city have looked at innovative solutions to how to solve these problems. And so one of the issues is we don't have very many grocery stores in the city, and we have literally tens of thousands of vacant and abandoned structures. The last mayor alone knocked down 10,000 vacant structures in his 4 years. And the next mayor is on a projection to even double that.
And so when you see that, you think land. Gardens,
exactly, right.
Parks.
And so yeah, that's exactly where we looked at it, was in the parks. And it was like building a culture of prevention in the traditional American healthcare system, which only includes hospitals, doctors' offices, clinics, places where people don't want to go, places that aren't welcoming, and places that people only go when they're sick. How do we expand the healthcare system in Detroit to include the things you need to be healthy? And so for us, that's our 300 plus parks that we have, as well as schools like Herman was talking about, and just a number of things like that. What I saw when I formed Healthy Detroit was it wasn't just us trying to build a Healthy Detroit. You had so many great people, so many great organizations that have been doing things in the community for literally decades. And it was just kind of a lack of, whatever the word is, it was just really trying to bring people together to realize that, hey, we have one goal here. It's build a Healthy Detroit. And through our Health Park initiative, trying to take city parks and convert them into one-stop shops for everything you need to live a healthy life, we've gotten Eastern Market to put a farm stand in the parks. We've gotten some of the hospitals and healthcare networks to now offer screenings and immunizations in a park setting.
Wow.
And so we have yoga, Zumba, the Meet Up and Eat Up is now in the parks.